Ever wonder how the experienced cooks in your life can whip up a delicious meal without even glancing at a recipe? It's not magic, it's a formula. Today we're diving into stew. I'll walk you through an easy 6-step process that you can use to create 2 totally different but equally flavorful dinners. I'm gonna add some green onion. I feel like that was weird, so I will not add it yet. I'm Laura Cook. I've spent most of my adult life working in restaurants, and now I'm bringing everything I've learned in professional kitchens into my home and yours. When I cook for my family, my goal is simple: make food that is affordable, practical, and still totally delicious. Cooking doesn't have to be complicated to make memories. What I'm doing here is showing you a simple, flexible formula to help you get dinner on the table. When I say stew, I think of a cozy one-pot meal with a rich, gravy-like sauce, something warm, comforting, and accessible. So the first thing you need to know about stew is that size matters. When you're making a meat and potato stew, but really you're stewing anything, it's important that all of your pieces are roughly the same size. Today I'm using turkey thighs, and I'm cutting them into 2 to 3 inch pieces. Later on, I'm going to be adding some vegetables to the pot, and as you can see, they're cut to roughly the same size as well. Before we continue, I think it's important that we acknowledge where our food comes from. Thanks to sponsors like the Manitoba beef producers and Manitoba turkey producers, we get to help share the stories behind Manitoba grown ingredients. Subscribe for more stories direct from Manitoba farms. Every click supports local farmers, ranchers, and fellow home cooks who are looking for dinnertime inspiration. Now, arguably the most important step to building rich, deep flavor is the sear. Searing your meat, in this case turkey, before adding the liquid will caramelize the exterior, and all those crispy brown bits in the bottom of the pan will melt into the sauce and add color and flavor to the final dish. Turkey is very lean, so you'll want to add some cooking oil to the pot before you start to prevent it from sticking. Otherwise, it's easy to work with and great for a dish like this because it soaks up all the seasonings we're going to add to the pot. Hear that sizzle? That's exactly what we want. Don't overcrowd your pan or you won't have a good sear as well. Just give it a little bit of space. Now that all our turkey has been browned, it's all about building depth with aromatics. In the same pot, I'm sauteing bacon, carrots, onion, celery, and garlic. The turkey goes back in the pot, and then it'll be time to add our liquid. Now, this is the formulaic part because we're using beer and broth today. But stock, broth, water, these liquids will all make a stew. The beer adds a rich flavor to the dish, but because you seared your meat and sauteed the veggies, there's no shortage of flavor in the pot. This is also when you get to clean out the fridge and add whatever other ingredients you want. I'm going to add a little tomato and some potatoes. Some seasonings like bay leaf and rosemary. And we're just going to let this simmer until everything is cooked through and tender. Because turkey thighs are a relatively tender cut of meat, this dish only needs to simmer for about 30 minutes, so it's perfect for a weeknight. But I'll be showing you how to use this same method to tenderize a larger, tougher cut of meat later in the video. Now we're ready to turn this beery liquid into a gravy, and you do that by adding a starch to the boiling broth. In this case, I'm using cornstarch, but flour works too. The key is to dissolve it in some water before adding it to the pot to ensure that it blends in nicely with the sauce without clumping. This is called a slurry. Look at that. It only takes a few minutes to thicken up and we're almost ready to serve. The final step to making a truly memorable stew is finishing it with something fresh and colorful. That could be a handful of frozen peas, or in this case, some chopped green onion. Whatever you've got on hand. But I just love a bit of texture and brightness. And there you go. A fabulous stew, comforting enough for Sunday supper, but quick enough it can be made on a busy weeknight. Now, we've made our traditional meat and potato stew, but let me show you how the same steps can generate a very different result. I've got a 2-pound blade roast of beef here. It's a big cut, and sometimes those big cuts of meat can be intimidating. We don't always want a roast dinner, so let's break it down. I'm going to slice this roast into roughly 2-inch cubes. We love to support local beef producers by purchasing beef in bulk when we can. My husband works closely with ranchers through his work in bird conservation, and we have learned and appreciate that beef farmers take a lot of pride in being stewards of the land and habitat in their care. The land, their pastures and fields, is not only their home, but their livelihood, and often their history. With the next generation in mind, they strive to make positive environmental choices. I'm going to now add onion and garlic to the same pan. After the onions have sauteed for a little bit, we're going to add the beef right back into the pot. Give it a nice stir to incorporate it all together. So we followed the exact same steps as before, and now we're ready to add some liquid. But in this case, we're going to season and thicken at the same time. I'm adding my cornstarch directly into the beef stock this time and whisking it. We'll whisk it until it's clump-free, nice and smooth. And I'm turning this stew into a Filipino-inspired kare kare dish. So I'm going to add some paprika and peanut butter for flavor. Give it a nice stir. And I'll let this cook for 2 to 2.5 hours. As it cooks, the beef will become tender and the cornstarch will thicken the sauce. It smells amazing in here. The next step is to add color. This time I'm going to use green onion, and then it'll be time to dig in. That is awesome. I can't wait for you to try it. There you go. Stew, 2 ways, no recipe required. That said, if you are a fan of following a recipe, you can definitely check out our recipes for Turkey and Guinness Stew and Beef Kare Kare linked below. I hope you've got the confidence to try our stew formula at home and that it helps you save time and reduce food waste. Explore these videos for more stew inspiration and let us know in the comments what you make.